This is the Walrus Audio Voyager MKII. This is the update to the Voyager 1 and it's Walrus Audio's take on the Klon circuit. Yes, I know, do we really need another Klon? I have no idea, but in this video I'm going to find out. I'm also going to play it through a tube amp, the Fender Deluxe Reverb. I'm going to play it through the Boss Katana. I'm also going to put this up against an actual Klon KTR and a Pegasus Overdrive. So we'll have an authentic Klon sound and a very affordable Klon sound to compare the Voyager MKII to. But first, let's see what you get in the box. You get yourself a Hey I Love You piece of paper, and the Walrus Audio catalogue with lots of goodies in it, a sticker that you can't see here, a pick, and of course in this lovely bag is the Voyager MKII. On the back is a little sticker, and we've got top-mounted jacks and power. Before we get into more sounds, let's take a look at the controls. Starting with the switches, we've got a bypass switch just here for turning the pedal on and off. Then we've got a mid switch for engaging the mid EQ, which is controlled by these two knobs. There, the mid, setting the level or amount, and then there, the frequency. Then we've got a mode, which is a 5-way clicky switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This switches between germanium and silicon diodes, and mode 1 is the setting retained from the original Voyager. And across the top, we've got volume, tone, and gain. And tone is a low-pass filter, which apparently tames the highs, and adjusting that will adjust, I guess, the clarity of the sound. Now, I've had a little play in my personal time, and in doing that, I've come up with 3 of my favorite tones from this pedal. The first you've heard already. It's a rocky kind of tone that is more overdriven than I usually play with a Klon. And this is quite mid-focused without being tube screamery and harsh and brittle. It's quite a smooth little ride, but it's still really, really clear. And in my playing so far, I've discovered the Voyager 2 is clear. Flipping the mode switch really does change the tone. So whilst we've got these settings, let's have a little flip of that mode. If you take a little look in the manual that you get with the Voyager MKII, there's a description of what the different diodes are doing to the tone, and so far those descriptions have been spot on, and it's quite shocking really that you can have such a volume jump in such a pedal. So it's not just about cutting the lows or cutting the highs. Changing the diode really does change the overall EQ of the pedal. So that's mode 1, the original Voyager, versus this, which is asymmetric silicon diodes. I'm not sure, with that amount of gain, it's a little bit raspy, almost ratty territory. Let's go to the Strat, and for me, I'm going to find the classic, sort of what I feel to be the Klon tone. That's 4th position on the Strat, and even though I'm digging in quite hard, it's way more of a clean drive, if that makes sense. It's way more clear, there's clarity still there, and it's bite, and it's really reactive to everything that I'm really hitting. So I can really feel it playing with my playing. It's worth pointing out that this is mode 3, which is apparently more open and dynamic, using silicon diodes symmetrically. And if I was just to switch that... That's also pretty cool. That's the asymmetric silicon diodes. It's a very different pedal when you switch those diodes, which is super cool. And I have my favorites for each kind of tone that I want out of this so far. But that favorite changes depending on my mood. Let's go more sort of, I don't know, higher gain. Let's see how high the gain can go. This is my third favorite tone, and it's pretty chuggy. Now, if you've reached this far in the video, you're probably into guitars and guitar pedals, so why not subscribe to my channel? It's free, and you're probably doing yourself a favor by subscribing, because then you won't have to go and find my videos. If you ring the bell, it'll notify you, I think. Anyway, subscribe, please. It'll make me smile. Like this. Now, when I think of a Klon style circuit, I don't really think of this really bitey, heavy, mid-high gain. No, it's not mid-high gain. It's fairly high gain for an overdrive, with that riffy stuff that's really clear. It's fuzzy. It's like a light fuzz, which I know there's a grey area between overdrive, distortion, and fuzz. It doesn't just cut somewhere. But that sort of skips distortion. No, there's a ratness to it. There's a fuzziness to it, and there's still a clonness to it. I really enjoy it. I actually really want to hear it with drop tuning, so I'm going to switch to my Jaguar for a moment and hear what that sounds like. See, that is when you need clarity, when you're going lower and you want those thick old strings to ring out. And these are quite dead strings, if I'm honest. I haven't changed these since I got the guitar. And I don't want to. It kind of ruins the magic, or maybe. But this... Now, I don't know if you like that sort of music, of course, but it's really interesting for me to test a pedal to see if it still sounds full and clear without lacking in that bottom end when you're adding lower, thicker strings on it. And just maybe this guitar and that Voyager 2 is a perfect combination for secret high-gain tones without actually being that high gain. Right, let's go into something more traditional territory. I'll set up a loop and we can have a little twiddle of the knobs. With there being 5 modes in that, it's kind of impossible to show you everything in a short time, but you should have been able to pick up on the sheer range of tone available. I know I did. There was like a honky, sort of horny fuzz. Let's do that. It was this mode, mode 5, and then, oh, it's already on there. High-ish gain, or really high gain, and then the mids all cut, I think. I think that's what I did. I got it. It's there. So whatever that setting is, that's it. That's a tone I could play forever. That's a killer tone. I am going to... At this point, I wish it were digital so I could save presets, but that's asking too much. Oh, I could capture it on one of those capture pedals. That's a great sound. In fact, I haven't actually shown you the sound of the amp on its own yet. This is the Fender Deluxe Reverb without the Voyager MKII. I'm having a battle in my head. My head is saying stop playing, and I don't want to. So I'm not playing in time because I'm having 2 conversations whilst playing. That, for me, is worth the price of admission alone. And I thought this was going to be a very Strat-style video and things were going to be in a room and burning slowly. But no. Voyager 2 is a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. Goodness gracious. Right, let's keep the amp the same, let's keep the guitar the same, and compare the Voyager MKII to the actual Klon KTR and the cheapo K-Line Pegasus Overdrive. I've just spent quite some time messing with these 3 pedals, and the results might surprise you. Okay, that's quite surprising and quite upsetting because I used to be a big fan of the Pegasus Overdrive. It's cheap and it does that low gain Klon thing pretty well. But when you start getting into higher gain territory, it sort of bounces and jumps and like a compressor pulling down, and it's not clipping nicely. It's also woofing in that bottom end. I'm quite upset. However, the Voyager and the KTR, similar ballpark, not the same. I couldn't get the Voyager 2 to sound exactly like the KTR, but there's certainly similar areas. And I promise you I did try my best to get these sounding similar, and I'm not saying I didn't do a very good job, but there's obviously different things going on. Maybe live you would notice a difference. I would certainly notice a difference with that K-Line Pegasus. What I did enjoy about this is the fact that it's a soft switch on there. And when I was pressing this, that's okay as a switch, but that's an absolute pig to press with your finger. So I would hope that you're not using your fingers at gigs or recording sessions. But if you are, that's the one to go for based on switches alone, which hopefully is not the way that you choose pedals, but it could be. We could get to that point. So for those of you who just opened up this video to comment, just get yourself a cheap Klon clone, these are too expensive. I disagree heavily, at least with the Pegasus Overdrive. I've played with the Voyager through the Fender Deluxe Reverb, my favourite amp for doing pedals through. Let's do it through my favourite non-tube amp for pedals, the Boss Katana Gen 3. In an attempt to be scientific, I'm going to play that loop through it before I actually play through it myself. So let's put the pedal on screen and loop it up. I've got to stop. A massive spider just walked across the floor of the studio. I'm okay with spiders as long as I know where they are. I didn't know that one was in here with me. It is not enjoying either of these amps and none of those pedals. It just sort of walked away and started shaving in the corner. I think that sounds great. Wow. Okay. Shh. It's noisy. Let's play it live. I got totally confused then. I think that sounds fantastic. Boss Katana, great pedal platform, and about the same price as the Voyager Mark II. So great deal there. However, if you skimp on pedals, I think that's a mistake with some of them, as I've proven to myself with that Pegasus, which I'm still upset about. And that spider is still down there somewhere. Right, I've made my decision. Let's round up this review of the Voyager Mark II. If you're in the USA, the Voyager Mark II will set you back around $249. If you're outside of the USA, it's going to cost you a bit more. I'm expecting €279, maybe €299, and the Voyager Mark I is currently going for around $200. Yeah, it's not a small amount of money. However, I've just put it up against my favorite low-priced Klon-style pedal, and I think it wiped the floor with it. Whether it competes against the KTR, I don't really know. I'd love to know your opinion. Please leave a comment down below. However, the Voyager Mark II is a lot more versatile than other Klon pedals. Not only does it have 5 different diodes in there, which are quite shockingly different to each other, it also has this foot switchable mid-frequency cut or boost, and that is game-changing. That really does change the sound of a traditional Klon circuit. Also, the tone on this seems to add a bit more clarity and control than the KTR, for example. Although the KTR does have its sort of magic, it's kind of good everywhere, whereas the Voyager MKII has a lot of good sweet spots. If you're not sure about the look, if minty green doesn't fit your pedal board, it's also available in a black and white sort of finish with an astronaut on there, which I think looks very cool. And there's lots of them available, unlike the KTR. And it's built very well, and it's got top-mounted jacks, unlike my favorite, the ex-favorite K-Line Pegasus Overdrive. So yes, I would recommend this pedal. Yes, I'm going to use it a lot. And I'm definitely going to find that sort of honky, sort of saxophony, horny sound. I dig that a lot, and I've never got that from a Klon pedal before. I would, of course, love to know what you think of the Voyager. And anyone who comments on this video and subscribes to the channel will be eligible for this month's giveaway. So make sure you do that. A big thanks to Walrus Audio's European partners, Face, for sending out the pedal for review. There are links in the video description should you want to purchase the Voyager MKII. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!